Hey, this is Peter from LostAngler.com, and today we're going to be doing our first fly tying tutorial. The fly we're going to tie today is a fly by a gentleman by the name of Ken Edmonds from Georgia. You can check out his patterns at flyfishga.com, or you can even listen to his podcast on the itinerantangler.com. And this is the fly. This is a Stealth Bomber. This is size 6, and it's one of my favorite patterns here in the Cahaba River. So stick around and enjoy. We're going to start with the size 6 Gamakatsu B10S. You can find these at most fly shops, Bass Pro shops, your local shop, whatever it may be. I think they work great. Alright, one of the things we're going to use next that most people don't is plain old-fashioned sewing thread. Cotton sewing thread works really well, very durable, and really cheap. So we're going to start with that and get that going. Now when I start the fly, what I like to do is get a full thread wrap all the way up and down the shank of the hook. And you don't really have to, but I like to do it. And the reason for that is it really gives something for the rest of the materials to kind of bite and hold on to. Alright. Now for a little bit of flash in the fly, what we're going to use is Danville Mylar tinsel. This is the two-sided kind where, you know, one side is silver and one side's gold. So once again, really common stuff. Probably even came with a fly tying kit if you bought one. And we're just going to pull the length of it off real quick. And then we're going to double it over a couple times so we can get full use out of each piece. Alright, so we got it. Looping it over, bringing it down, and there it goes. Alright, now I leave it long before I go ahead and put on my hackle, and the reason for that is I want to kind of get a gauge to see exactly what we need and what we don't need. Now I've already cut some saddle hackle, and you can use saddle hackle or you can use neck hackle. Personally, I like saddle hackle. It just gives a kind of a tighter profile. Alright, so I'm going to put it up against the hook and kind of get a size idea. Alright, well I kind of want to let about, maybe an inch off the back of the hook shank. So I'm going to get a rough idea where that is, trim away the parts of the feather I don't need, and then I'm going to set it up against the hook shank. Just like that. I'm going to kind of lay it against it. Alright, now I'm going to take a couple loose thread wraps. Make sure it's laying flat. It's laying really well. Now we're going to take it, trim it up some. Make sure it's laying well. I got one that's being difficult. Alright, there it is. Now, take it, wrap it up, make it a nice clean look. We're going to take the next two pieces of saddle hackle, once again, laying them together so they fit well together, and then, once we've got that done, we're going to lay it against what we got. Alright. Pull off what we don't need. Trim it up some. Lay it against the hook shank. A few loose thread wraps. And we're in business. And that pretty much takes care of putting on the wing on this fly. And by the way, to get your wings to lay this well, when you're putting two pieces of hackle together, it's really not that hard. Just kind of make sure it's all kind of, you're getting a piece of that feather in there too. That kind of holds it down. Alright, so now we're going to wrap it up, get it good and tight, and we're going to bring down this Mylar tinsel. We want it to stick out just a little bit past the, a little bit before the hackle. Clip it off, and boom, there it goes. It's going to be in there, fairly unobtrusive, and ready to go. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of chartreuse marabou, kind of match it all up. We're going to take the part, we only need about half this piece of marabou, and so I'm going to take it and go ahead and cut it in half. And I'm going to get the top half because it has the finer filaments, and I'm going to take it and kind of smooth it down till it gets right about there. Then I'm going to size it up against the hook, get a better idea for where I want it, right idea of the size, as soon as I got it there. And I'm going to do it kind of like you would deer hair. I'm just kind of push it down so it spins around. Alright, once I got it on there, take it, a few loose thread wraps, boom, there it is. Tighten it up, bam. Alright, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to pull up the remainder of the chenille. Trim it off. Then we're going to take the thread, come around here, kind of clean it up some. It's not going to be perfect. And to be totally honest, the fish do not care, especially in warm water. I don't really believe trout care too much more either, but that could be argued. Alright, so there we go. Nice clean look. Next we're going to take pieces of foam. Now I've already pre-cut these, and for the back body of the fly we have a piece of craft foam. I'd say it's about 2mm craft foam, and I've cut into a long rectangle. And we're going to tie this on the back of the fly. And the reason we do this is when we tie it on, it does two things. It helps the body of the fly stand up once it's on there, and the other reason is it forms a bubble trail if we do it right. So this way when we strip the fly down, it's going to make a little bubble trail. And the reason is once we fold this over like this, it's got a little spot where it kind of catches some air as it dives down. And you know, that might be small or inconsequential, but sometimes it's those little things that make a difference for some reason or other. Alright, there we go. Let's cut. Let's wrap that up, make it nice and neat. Alright. Next we're going to take another piece of craft foam, same time. This time we've done it in kind of a tan. And we're going to set it on there. Kind of get a feel for where the eye of the hook is. I think we're pretty much right on the money. Take a look. Hey, I'll buy it for $1. Alright. And there we go. Bring it on back. I bring it about halfway down the shank. Get a look at it. Does it look good? Yeah, looks good to me. Bring that thread down. And boom. Now bring this up and over. Wrap it about twice over. Cinch down. Now you gotta be careful. This foam will do the same thing as deer hair and spin with you. So a couple loose wraps and cinch it down, and you're in business. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this collar right here, this foam collar, we're going to pick it up, slide it up across the top like that, and trim it down. What I do is I just bring it up, put my thumb and forefinger together, and clip. Boom, there it goes. Alright, see, now you can leave it just like this, and that'll do fine. But what we kind of want to do with this is make sure it's all straight. Then, anyway, what we kind of want to do with this thing is we're going to bring it forward again. And the reason we're doing it like this is the more of that back little part showing, the better the bubble trail. So there we go. Alright, so now we're going to kind of trim it off level. Alright. I'm going to swing it around. Alright, Alright, there it is. So, now the next thing we're going to do is put some legs on it. Now you can either use silly legs or you can use centipede legs. In my experience, centipede legs seem to stand up a little bit better, so that's what I generally use. Alright, and on this one we're going to use yellow, or speckled chartreuse, in a size that's medium. So I take a full piece, just like this, right there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, double it over, and pretty much just go ahead and cut it in half, because you don't really need the whole thing. So boom, there it goes. Alright, I'm going to take it and fold it over again, like so. Bring it up against the fly body. Make sure everything's fairly even on it. Give myself a couple of loose wraps. Now the centipede leg is going to want to come together like this, but that's fine. Not a big deal at all. Just remember, the tighter you wrap, the more the centipede legs are kind of going to come together on you. So, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Depends on what you want to go with, what you want to look like. Once again, I really do not believe in my heart of hearts that it is all that important to that vicious fish. So, there we go. Alright. Got it looking pretty good. So now what we're going to do is take it, trim it up. After we do a couple more wraps, hold it nice and firm. Alright. Then we're going to bring the legs up together, like so. And we're going to kind of trim them down to the shortest one. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just got to be close enough for government work. And if you're working in the government right now, you're saying, well, I'm not going to be close enough. But, sorry. Alright, so here we go. Then I bring it up towards the front right here in the middle. Clip that off. Once again, bring it all up together. Clip to the length of the shortest one, and boom, there it is. And from here, what we're going to have is a great looking fly. Now you can either finish it two ways. You can either finish it with a whip finish, or you can finish it with a double half hitch. Either one's fine. I personally prefer the double half hitch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it down, clip it off. In fact, I got to move the camera back a little bit. There we go. Now we're dangerous. Alright, bring it around my finger once, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this over, use my bobbin to get a hold of that thread, and bring it back through on the other side. Same thing again. That's how you do a double half hitch. Then you bring it up nice and tight, and you kind of work it around, get it nice and good, you know, kind of work it in there some, and do it again. Now you can do this 2 or 3 times, it's up to you. And this is just another alternative to a whip finish. They both work great, so it's up to you. And boom, there it is. Alright. Now it looks nice and tight, but I'm going to do it one more time just to be on the safe side. And here we go. Alright, cool. We're going to trim off the tag in. Alright. Now one thing you can do, you can use, there's like 100 million different types of head cement. There's Hard as Hole, that's a great one. Loon is great. Zap-A-Gap, another good stuff. But what I found that works really well and is extremely cheap is clear fingernail polish. Like this right here is Love My Nails, and I have it because it is probably the cheapest one I've ever found. And I've never ever had trouble with it coming apart on me. So I take it right now, over the top. Boom. Boom. And there it is, folks. A size 6 stealth bomber.